What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego back with some more boxing. Now I had to shed some light, give the Ego thoughts. Floyd Mayweather and the Pacquiao fight, Pacquiao being his mandatory. That was recently announced that Pacquiao is the #1 mandatory. A lot of people were asking me about this, so I'm going to put it out there in the atmosphere, give my thoughts on this. Um, I've heard a lot. I've heard Mayweather, he did some fight hype interviews, and he says basically a belt doesn't define him and Pacquiao's not on his level. Belt doesn't define him. Pacquiao could have the belt as a mandatory. Um, Partly, I think Mayweather just being who he is and being quote unquote the man. I think he does stuff and says stuff a lot of times to fuck with the media, to piss people off, fuck with the fans. Um, I think that's a little bit of what we're experiencing. The downside to that is you're saying stuff to piss off the fans, but even people who are your fans kind of second guess your motives for doing so. So as far as Pacquiao, we know Pacquiao seems to be on the decline, but then again he reinvigorated his career with the Rios win. Saying he's not on your level, a guy that a couple years ago was scheduled to fight you, and then for obvious reasons that fight didn't happen. He has a solid resume at the end of the day. And then if you want to talk about he can have the belt, then it's going to lead people to believe and make comparisons like the Robert Guerrero fight. Robert Guerrero was your mandatory, a fighter who hasn't been beat in a while. He had a credible win streak, two solid performances at welterweight, but nothing Robert Guerrero has ever done really topples Pacquiao's best milestones, I guess you could say. And that's just being honest. And I like Robert Guerrero. He's a true warrior. He has a chin. Um, he stood by his wife during cancer, which is definitely a commendable thing to do. And he jumped up 2 weight classes. But he was your mandatory, and nothing that he did, like I said, beats what Pacquiao has done in the world of boxing. Now, they're both southpaws, so it could have been a trickier fight. Mayweather made it look like easy work. But Pacquiao, we know he can go rounds. We know he has speed. We know he has power. He's a southpaw. Could be tricky. So just comments saying he's not on your level or it's just getting old. Like, we know the guy can fight. We know he's put up some credible performances. Some people think Pacquiao would still win. People think Mayweather would still win. At the end of the day, fans just want to see it. Like, fuck the charades. Fuck the back and forth. He said, she said bullshit. We know Pacquiao's not getting the larger of the cut. I think he's even okay with that, and I think he even realizes he's not as big of a draw in terms of box office gross revenue. And he's willing to do the drug testing. He's willing to take the smaller purse. Let's just see the fight. That's how I feel. And like I said, if you're making statements like, for Mayweather, if he's making statements like, a belt doesn't define me, he can have the belt. Why would you say that when he's your mandatory, but when Robert Guerrero is your mandatory, you take the fight and use that as leverage of why you should be fighting Robert Guerrero? So it leaves a sour taste in fans' mouth. I just want to see the fucking fight so we can just be done with it and move forward. Um, I don't think the fight will happen anytime soon, and I'll do that on a separate video why I don't think the fight will happen. But I just want to see it. Fans want to see it. People are getting tired of just waiting around. It's like waiting for a doctor's appointment and everyone's just in the lobby chilling. Like, are they going to call me next? Are they going to call me next? And you've been there for 3 hours or better. So I'm just tired of the bullshit. I just want to see it happen if it's going to happen. Um, doesn't look like Golden Boy or Top Rank are making the effort to work together and get this fight to happen. But as far as Mayweather, I think some of his answering, some of the way he answers questions, it leads people to speculate that he's trying to avoid or evade Pacquiao. So I would just be like, no answer. You know what I mean? I'd rather plead the fifth than give like the haters ammunition and make people think that you don't want to fight Pacquiao for reasons other than the obvious. That's just my personal opinion. So as far as Pacquiao moving into the mandatory spot, I want to see the fight. I've always wanted to see the fight. I've maintained that. I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm not going to hold my breath over it. It's not that serious. I do want to see it. I think Mayweather should really analyze how he answers some questions, um, because people are gonna start calling you out on it. Like, hey, how can you fight Robert Guerrero, who is your mandatory, but you're not willing to fight Pacquiao? So if you don't want to fight him for the reason of Bob Arum, state that and state only that. This is my advice. I'm not telling him what to do. Obviously, he's a fucking multimillionaire. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But I'm saying my advice. State your reason and let it be that. So if you don't want to make the fight because you hate Bob Arum, you're not willing to do business with him, state that. But as far as the extras, like, oh, he's not on my level, or he's my mandatory, but a belt don't define me, I would save those comments, because people are going to start going into the vaults and old interviews and stuff and using it against you. As far as the Amir Khan and Mayweather fight, I told you from the jump, I hate that idea. Not a good fight to me, based on Amir Khan not having proved anything in recent memory. Lost Lamont Peterson in a close, controversial fight, but it's still a L. He lost to Danny Garcia via stoppage, got dropped in the third round, and continued to get dropped in the fourth round. Then he had a tune-up fight with a new trainer, so I was like, okay, Carlos Molina, he has a new trainer, he's just getting a feel for it. Then he ran through Carlos Molina, a fighter with no power who moved up in weight, and to me hasn't really done anything since. He was undefeated, but that's not, for an elite fighter, quote unquote, beating Carlos Molina, that Carlos Molina, doesn't really prove shit to me, especially when you're making him come up in weight. Then he went life or death at home against Julio Diaz. It's just not warranted. This fight makes no fucking sense. Now, I've been holding out this hope that Mayweather has been known to fuck with the media. What if Mayweather, Golden Boy, Amir Khan have been putting on a hoax, and everybody thinks that the Mayweather Khan fight will happen because that's what is being released and insiders are saying? And what if Amir Khan is fighting on Mayweather's undercard, and he's fighting like Danny Garcia rematch, and Mayweather's fighting somebody else? I think that's incredible business savvy if that is the case. If Mayweather is not fighting Amir Khan, he's a very, very smart business person, because he's getting all the feathers ruffled up. He's getting people pissed. People are hating him. People are doing the most important thing, talking about him, keeping him relevant. So I'm crossing my fingers that the Amir Khan Floyd Mayweather fight is not happening for Floyd Mayweather's next fight, and that Amir Khan releasing tweets like, the announcements coming next month, we'll be fighting in May. I hope he fights in May, because I have no problem with Amir Khan. He's an exciting fighter. I want to see him fight in May. I just don't want to see him fight May. I don't want to see him fight Mayweather right now. He has to do more. So hopefully Amir Khan is fighting on the undercard, because that'd be a very solid undercard if you pit Amir Khan. I don't care. As long as it's not Floyd Mayweather, I don't give a fuck who you pit against Amir Khan. He's an exciting fighter, and I think it would be exciting to have him on the undercard. But I don't think he deserves the main spotlight, the main event, the limelight. So hopefully this is Floyd Mayweather, Al Heyman, all theAls, Al Bundy, Al Sharpton, whoever. And they're coming up with this clever ploy to get the fans heated, to play with the fans' emotion. And Floyd Mayweather is actually fighting someone else in May. I don't care who it is, as long as it's not Amir Khan. And I'm not hating on Khan. I just think out of all the possible names that he could fight, Khan hasn't earned it recently. So hopefully this is all a business strategy. I know they just kind of dropped the bomb with Canelo. A lot of people thought he wasn't going to fight Canelo, and he did. Same thing with him tweeting about Devin Alexander. He said Devin Alexander was the front runner, knowing damn well that Devin Alexander wasn't the person he was choosing. So hopefully this is another. And I think Floyd has been known to do this. I could be wrong. He could be fighting Amir Khan, which will piss me off and everybody else. But I think he's done this more than once. Him and 50 Cent were having an exchange of words, and they were going on social media talking shit, quote unquote beefing. I I feel like stuff like that is staged, like wrestling or some shit. Like these storylines are created. If you watch, I was a big wrestling fan. I used to love Ultimate Warrior, Papa Shango, Tatanka, all them motherfuckers. Legion of Doom. Rush. So that's one of the great things about wrestling, back in the day at least. They had great storylines, great characters, just characters you really want to see, like Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, yeah, god damn, oh yeah. Rest in peace, Macho Man Randy Savage. That hurt the shit out of my throat doing all that. So hopefully Mayweather has taken a page at a WWF/WWE's playbook, and he's toying with us. He's just creating a clever storyline for May and who his opponent's going to be. And it's Amir Khan, maybe on his undercard, as opposed to fighting him. So let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.